It's the first time since 2019 that Formula One is going to race here in Melbourne. And the track looks very different as well. It has changed dramatically in the last 3 years. A whole new section as well down at turn 9. It's designed to prove the drivers once and for all you can race here. And it's the third leg on this fantastic 2022 season as well. Next time out, we are having a sprint race, but that will be at the Emilia Romagna circuit in Imola. Miami on the 8th of May. The 22nd of May takes us to Spain as well at Barcelona. The Monaco Grand Prix on the 29th of May for a slight break before Azerbaijan on the 12th of June. Canada on the 19th. Then the British Grand Prix at Silverstone the first weekend of July. What better place to have it than at Silverstone on the heart of the British summer. A week later it's Austria before a 2-week break before France and Hungary leads us to the summer break. Belgium, Netherlands and Italy form a triple header ending on the 11th of September. Before then we go over for another 2-week break before Singapore on the last weekend of September, first weekend of October. Japan takes us on the 9th, then 2-week break before we hit the States with the American Grand Prix in Austin, Texas, Mexico on the 30th of October, and then the last 2 races in November at Brazil and Abu Dhabi. In terms of the driver standings, Charles Leclerc leads on 45 points. His teammate Carlos Sainz is in second on 33. Max Verstappen got 25 points on the board with win last time out, put him right ahead of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. Mercedes struggling a lot this weekend. Esteban Ocon is ahead of Sergio Perez. Kevin Magnussen, 2-point scoring finishes in a row, put him in 8th. Valtteri Bottas 9th. Lando Norris rounding out the top 10 on 6 points. On the second page, Yuki Tsunoda is on 4 points, the same as his teammate Pierre Gasly. Fernando Alonso and Guan Yu Zhou, the last of the point scorers. Schumacher, Stroll, Hülkenberg, Albon, Ricciardo and Latifi with no points. Vettel returning this weekend, trying to finally get on the points board. In terms of the Constructors Championship, Ferrari lead the way by 30 points, 78 to 38. Massive gap there to Mercedes. Red Bull have only 37 points, they're a point behind Mercedes. Alpine 4th on 16, Haas have 12, Alfa Romeo 9, AlphaTauri 8. McLaren, the last point scorers with only 6 on the board, all from Norris. Hülkenberg, Stroll's teaming of Aston Martin in the first 2 races, scoring no points for them. Williams with Albon Latifi, no points either at the back of the board. For the first time since 2019, it's time for first practice here for the Australian Grand Prix. Let's take a look around the Albert Park circuit here in Melbourne, a 3.295 mile circuit, a total now 14 corners and yes, 4 DRS zones. This circuit been on the calendar now for 25 years. Out of the last corner, open up the DRS and hurtle down towards turn 1. Flat out 8th gear, slam on the brakes all the way down. 3rd gear corner, back on the accelerator now as you hurtle round turn 2. 2nd DRS zone open, down to the tight turn number 3. Again, hold 8th gear, slam on the brakes all the way down. 2nd gear corner as well, hold the inside line as well. Into the car park section now. 4 at the exit, ride the curb as well. It helps you through turn 5, flat out. Nice against the barriers before you come down towards turn 6 and 7. Hard on the brakes now, file through nicely. Round the lake, turn 8. Onto the new part, turn 9, flat out section before you rejoin the F1 game. Down towards now turns 9 and 10. Drop down 6th gear corner. A little bit lighter on the speed, put a wheel on the grass, you'll be round like a donut teacup. Down now towards turn 13 and 14 again, 8th gear, all the way down 4th gear corner. It's now a 90-degree right-hander in F1 2022. 6th gear, back on the accelerator, down now, last corners coming up, into turn 13, nicely down, opened up a lot more for overtaking, last corner the same, turn 14, flat out, DRS zone 4 open, run into the line, and that is a lap of the Albert Park circuit here in Melbourne. Welcome to something that has not been done since 2019, both here in Australia and here in Europe as well. Welcome, first of all, to Melbourne, Australia for the first practice session of round 3 of the 2022 FIA Formula One World Championship. And second of all, I would like to welcome everybody in Europe. Well done for getting up this early. You really are die-hard Formula One fans. This is a night shift race for European fans. We take a look at Albert Park, Melbourne. 4 DRS zones, 14 turns, a brand new modified circuit as well, heavily modified as well. Turn 1 has been increased to width, the same as turn 3. Biggest changes cut down. Now what used to be turn 9 and 10 removed. A fast sweeping DRS zone as well. Now akin to more what the road is being used as. And a 90-degree stop hairpin sort of corner that we see in America street races down at the bottom of the track. In terms of your tyre compounds, Pirelli bringing the C5 softest compound, then a step before the medium is the C3 and the hard is the C2 tyre compound. Action is already nearly to get underway here as well. The anticipation is high. Track temperature 20 degrees. Sorry, track temperature 37 degrees. Air temperature is at 20 degrees as well. Humidity at 61%. The wind blowing is 3.2 kilometers towards the southeast as well. And we are all ready to go. And that's not to say that I'm alone in the commentary box, because there are fellow Formula One nuts all the way around. Josh Blaze is patrolling the pit lane for us, and joining me in the commentary box right now is Synthel as well. Good morning to you, Synthel, as well. What a crazy session we've got coming up.
Yeah, well, good morning. Well, new year, new layout, new cars. It's going to be very interesting to see how it's all going to work out for this time in Australia. And I think these new adjustments made to this track are going to, go for a completely different race, possibly, with this 4 DRS especially.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely insane. And I'm grinning like a Cheshire cat right now up here in the comms box, because I've been waiting to get back to Melbourne for years as well. It's a beautiful circuit. There's the new modified turn 3, been brought more closer. The track now looks much more sweeping. Look at this. This used to be where the chicane was down to 910. It's now a massive grandstand opportunity. TV pictures just alongside as well, and a massive long DRS zone as well. I love what they've done to this place. It's been 3 long years since we last had a proper race here. Of course, 2020 was cancelled 2 years ago, and Ted Kravitz is down in the pit lane for us.
To Melbourne, and or Nam as it's sometimes known around here, and it's a traditional name. But I was just having a look actually at the differences between the Ferrari and the Red Bull. I'll get onto the Ferrari in a second, because some of you may have seen some shots of the Ferrari front wing actually deflecting at speed. It was from practice, I believe, in Saudi Arabia, Rachel. We'll try and find those shots so you can have a look at it. I think it's Carlos Sainz's car. Now, this is being addressed. It's not a particularly hot topic in terms of protests coming in, but it has raised attention. So if you noticed it on our coverage from Saudi Arabia, then A, you're not alone, B, the FIA noticed it too, and C, the other cars, the other drivers, the other teams, I should say, noticed it as well. So the discussion about the Ferrari front wing is whether it's sufficiently rigid. There's no question that it passes all the tests, because it does. They've tested it and it passes all the tests, but is it sufficiently rigid, and should it be moving in the way that it's moving? So that's one of the questions we'll get onto. New front wing end plate on Checo Perez's car, as we saw earlier, but just looking at that man, Max Verstappen, whether he feels with Ferrari testing a new diffuser, whether they race it or not, that's a different matter, whether that Red Bull will still have the advantage over the Scuderia this week.
Well, thanks, Ted. And the green light is on at the end of the pit lane, which means that for the first time since 2019, there is track action here at Melbourne. The first car out there as well is Sergio Perez. A lot of air rakes on the front as well. Now, also, Sid, it's interesting to note here that this isn't the first day of running we've had here in Albert Park. Yesterday, the V8 supercars and the SF 5000 was also out there on the circuit. So we have had some running. The track isn't as green as it usually is, but in terms of Formula One rubber, it's going to be extra green as well. If it was cooking oil, it'd be extra virgin olive oil as well. So they've got a lot of rubbing to do in the next hour or so.
Yeah, well, for them it's obviously not yesterday, but I don't know what you mean. But so I have already seen many YouTube videos from people who recreated the track on Aston, of course, and obviously the safety car they've uploaded on F1. So I've seen the new track, and I've seen the differences, and I think it's kind of crazy. But what do you think about those four DRS zones?
Yeah. Oh, Perez right here.
So normal racing line, stay off the curbs.
So normal racing lines, stay off the curbs is what he's just said. I think the track looks fantastic. I think it's going to be a very interesting race. And now that we've got, as you say, 4 DRS zones and sort of 5 areas you can mainly overtake, I'm hopeful it's going to increase what was a pretty dismal race in 2019 where there was only 10 on-track overtakes. Saudi Arabia had an increase of 20 overtakes last time out, and that was already a race that was absolutely chaotic. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what these new layouts can do for the racing, what the new cars can do as well, and I think we're just going to have a lot of fun this weekend as well. Our first cars at the track, then Bottas starts a lap time, as you can see on the driver tracker as well. Hopefully that's working. Perez on 2 laps, Bottas as well. I've got a new monitor up in the commentary box actually as well. That shows me a separate timing screen to what we usually have as well. So it's quite disconcerting for me right now.
So normal racing line, stay off the curbs.
But yeah, it's Perez top, and we're just seeing a replay, actually. He's got the aero rakes on the front, so Red Bull already, yes, we're 3 races into the season. Usually Albert Park's a season opener, but they are desperately doing as much work as they can in order to try and catch up towards Ferrari, who have a mammoth gap in the standings as well. They were on, they're now on, 78 points, and Mercedes are on 38. It's a mammoth gap in the standings that we're all looking forward to, as there's turn 9 now as well, and turn 10. I'm interested, though, Senthil, what's your opinion on this 90-degree corner we've got coming up that used to be down at turn 13? It looks like it's quite a hard stop now. Here it is.
Yeah, that's because it's after a DRS zone now, of course. So that should improve maybe some racing and some, Daniel Ricciardo moves if possible, some late braking. But I think it's still tight. So it's really tricky still to get side by side through there. However, I think they did do a good job to try and make the corners after DRS straight a bit more,
Bottas does Bottas is the fast lap, 1:26.761. Perez still in the second sector as things currently stand. He hasn't crossed the line just yet. We have got Josh Plays as well down in the pit lane. So I'm going to see if he's in race control just yet at the moment to say good morning to him. Trying to get access to Discord on the iPad as well, so I can have 2 people on the call at once, because it's only fair, as well as he has been awake about the same time as me and you, and he is actually in the commentary box, so I'm going to join as well. You just heard me saying that. Let's hopefully it doesn't kick me out 2 different calls. Good evening, Josh. Good morning, Josh, I should say. Welcome to Albert Park, and like me and Synthil, are you fighting the tiredness?
Yeah, indeed. I was meant to wake up at 2, and I woke up and I was like looking at the clock, and it was 3 o'clock.
Oh, perfect timing though, to be fair.
Yeah, perfect timing. Magnussen was unwell overnight with nausea.
Oh dear, so definitely not COVID then for Magnussen, because I know he only just got into the circuit, but I wasn't told why.
But all 20 Formula 1 drivers are preparing for FP1, including Vettel and Magnussen.
Absolutely fantastic to see that Sebastian Vettel's back as well. And
what I was just looking on the FIA race event notes is that they haven't said that the circuit is a new circuit.
That's interesting, because it definitely is, isn't it? As me and Synthil were just pointing out. Oh, there we go, Josh. You're back with us now. You sounded like a violin to begin with, as Verstappen sets the fastest second sector. Nice, quick sector 1. Big kick of oversteer there at the exit of turn 10. Back to you, Josh.
Yeah, it's just I don't get why they've not.
That's an interesting
just
one.
Looking, Lewis Hamilton was randomly chosen among the top 10 cars for a more extensive physical inspections after the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and all inspected components were found to be in compliance with the 2022 Formula 1 technical regulations. And a race control message has just come in. Turn 13 incident involving cars 44 Hamilton and 18 Stroll noted for impeding.
Oh, thanks, Josh. We'll be back with you throughout the session. Synth, that's interesting. Have you seen anything at the moment? Oh, here it is now, actually. Talk us through it.
Now, very early already. This is the new.
Yeah, down at 10:13. Hamilton's on the inside. Straw Radio.
Hamilton impeded me.
Copy, we saw.
Impeded me. I'm fully pushing.
Yeah, copy, we saw.
Fully impeding me.
It's been noted, but it's just a practice session. They shouldn't really get that heads up about it.
Wasn't that dangerous? I mean,
Yeah.
you saw it early. I can't see the pictures now on your screen for some reason.
Oh, sorry. Can you? Is it? I've got it on my side. Is it all right?
It's loading.
Oh.
Let me just-
Technical difficulties. While that tries to sort itself out, let's go to the YouTube chat because already there are so many of you in the YouTube chat, which is insane to think because many of our viewers come from Europe, but I know that quite a lot of you watch over in Australia. This is your home Grand Prix, so it's absolutely fantastic to have you up here in the comms box with us. Go through. SHT says, finally, after 2 years, we are back at Albert Park for the Australian GP. M says as well, finally, I don't need to wake up till midnight to watch F1. Josh plays as well. He's already said, I'm so tired.
Hamilton impeded me.
Copy, we saw.
Impeded me. I'm fully pushing.
Yeah, copy, we saw.
That's the radio message we already heard. SHT says, I'm able to watch F1 sessions in the morning and in the afternoon after 2 years of F1 being broadcast at night and midnight. Well, it's 4 a.m. up here in the UK and over where Synth is as well. I think. What time is it over there, Synth? Because you're 2 hours ahead of us now at the moment, aren't you?
Well, I'm lucky. It's 5 a.m. So.
Oh, not bad. Not bad then. That is quite lucky.
Yeah.
Yes, SHT says, and finally, Sebastian Vettel is back after missing out the first 2 races. Vander James Hum says, wish I was at the track, but they won't let people in without a vaccination passport. Well, hopefully you can stay with us. We'll provide you all the details you need to know throughout this weekend. Joe Samiego, 8 p.m. in Portland. I always loved Australia and Japan race that. Well, absolutely. It's an evening race for you. So, Joe, what you're experiencing right now is what we experience for the United States Grand Prix over here in Europe. SHT says Perez out on softs, Alonso out on hards, other outs out on mediums. The driver track is still not working, as you can tell. It never does for the first practice session.
Think about the steering test. Before 11.
Good morning to Richie, who is my co-commentator as well on PSGL PCF4. Unfortunately, we couldn't have a race this weekend because of the desync issues. But morning, Richie. Nice to have you along, even though it's 4 a.m. M says, is it still the old map? Yes, at the moment. Being told it'll be updated for FP2, and that's why the driver track is not working at the moment. Red Bulls have a new rear wing set up this weekend. Says SHT, says, by the way, Haas need to be careful right now as they do not have a spare chassis and a spare safety net for their car if it's needed for urgent purposes. One heavy crash can affect their weekend. For me, I'm in Singapore and it's around 11 a.m. right now, and that's also from SHT as well. As Stroll goes P2, 123.079. Norris top at the moment from Stroll, Vettel, Leclerc as well, top 4. And we're watching a Ferrari with their new front wing being attached as well. That's going on, I believe, Carlos Sainz's car. All caught up. Can you see the pictures now, Synth?
Yeah, I rejoined. So he's right, Kurt, with the chassis of Haas. They haven't got another one, so they do take a bit of a risk maybe there. So if it breaks up, we can see Verstappen now. He's improving.
Verstappen crossing the line, third at the moment, jumps to the top, 121.625. He's on the soft compound tyre though, so the maximum C5, and he became the youngest driver to race in F1 when he started in Australia back in 2015. He was 17 years old and 146 days. Hamilton jumps to fifth on the hard tyres, 123.462. How much of this opening session then, especially with it being a different circuit layout, is going to be spent mainly just exploring the new racing line and bedding it in, because everything looks so different. The run down to turn 3 as well, the barriers have been brought forward. It feels more like Monaco than what it used to.
Yeah, well, they obviously have a lot of time on the simulator as well, and 3 practice sessions, so they don't have to worry about that.
Ooh, Gasly.
Big moment. Look here on the exit of turn 1, which I've noticed, is that the wall is so close to the apex now. They're going to get right towards the wall if they're going to push the limit. Oh, look at the DRS. Yeah,
the DRS is flapping around massively, and Gasly was over the radio as well, saying as well. Oh, and the FIA stewards have said turn 13 incident involving cars 44 Hamilton and 18 Stroll reviewed, no further investigation, and now Verstappen and Latifi has been noted for impeding as well. So we'll get back to Josh Plays in a second, so there's more information has been found.
Like you said, it's basically a little bit like Monaco. It's tricky to get out of the way on this circuit. It's so small.
Yeah, thanks to Josh as well for sending that as well. He's in the pit lane. He's sending me text messages as well. You'll be hearing from him throughout the weekend as well. A reminder that Megan's not with us for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. She's sitting this one out. Will be on the broadcast though for MotoGP and IndyCar. They're both, of course, the America races, so she's taking those. Edward Hunter joins me for Formula E in Rome, and up here in the commentary box, we've got Synthol as well, Josh Blaze, and Ian Birch alongside myself this weekend, the commentary team. Ian Birch will be joining us for, I think, free practice too, but definitely for qualifying and the race tomorrow as well. He'll be with us. There's Alonso as well, Megan's favourite driver, who she had a lot of nervous opportunity last time out when he was battling with Ocon. Alonso goes 14th on a 1:25.217. And Alpine, interesting to note there, Synthol as well, back in blue with the pink front wing after their opening 2 races.
Yeah, it looks a lot better in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I won't say like Fortuny anymore. Is it me or the pit exit? Is that line way further to the corner than before?
It does look it, doesn't it? That's what I've been noticing. It used to cut off just after the bridge where the Ricardo thing is at the moment, but it looks like it is going straight down towards turn number 1. So definitely some things there, as well as there's a Ferrari on the racing line. One of the Alphas trying to go through and still blocking him as well. And no further action on that Stroll and Hamilton incident. We've already said it. So that is I think that's Leclerc, who is impeding one of the Alphas. Can't see that. I think it's Zhou Guan Yu at the moment, who's out there on the circuit.
Sainz.
Is it Sainz? Oh, thank you. It's Sainz, of course. Yeah, yellow for Sainz, white for Leclerc. And Sainz with that new front wing locks up on the medium compound tyre, goes straight on as well. Driver eye now through the new sections of the circuit. I've always thought they've got a car park section there. They could do more with that corner than just what they've got, because it's a little bit. It does kill the flow of the circuit a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fine. I mean, you need a runoff there because it's quite a fast corner, of course. And with those curb, you see them sometimes even losing it through there. So this is the full speed, full throttle new.
Do you think there's more lap time there? Do you think you can go quicker?
Yes.
Okay, let's go around again. Yeah, definitely.
That's Stroll saying, do you think there's more time available? And he's replying, yes, I think. And apparently car 10 has missed the apex of turn number 2. So with those of you quicker maths, that's Pierre Gasly, who's gone off at that part of the track. Josh has reported that from the pit lane. Bottas has come into the pit lane now as well. And just saying, while we saw Sainz on board, Synth, did you see the proporcing down through that back straightaway on the run down to turn 9? The head was shaking like mad.
So I wasn't. So let's see if you can see the porpoising from the Ferrari here. I've seen so many updates or something from the cars, from Red Bull and Ferrari. They're both obviously haven't done nothing throughout these 2-week break. But it's gonna maybe could be completely different who's gonna be the fastest now. So it's always exciting for a new season with new regulations. So we're gonna have to wait and see who's gonna be on top this time. We see Sainz on the hards now. That's the curve I was talking about, which can be tricky sometimes. You see sometimes on this track now as well that this is a very fast corner now. It was closer to the wall. There's more gravel closer to the apex, so I don't think there are many track limits on the circuit now.
Very rare track limits. Once again, the white line on this case at this circuit as well, the yellow line is the track limit. So if you go all 4 wheels over that yellow line, you are going to lose your lap time. So it's mainly down there at turn 10. They're monitoring it as well because it is a street circuit. It's impossible to go offline without losing speed. But the exit at turn 10 is where they're monitoring it most closely because, of course, this is a street circuit and there's white lines for road markings and such. The FIA have taken the stance that it will now, once again, the Australian traditional yellow markers define the track limits. It's also going to be the same, I'm being told, for when we go to Singapore, which is the night race. It's going to be a yellow track marker as well.
Does anyone improve?
So Leclerc, yes, he made a big improvement, went from a 23.3 to a 21.9. Not sure how much of that is PU.
Yes, and
so 7 ahead, strat mode 3.
And that's Sainz's lockup we saw a couple of moments ago down towards turn 3. Yeah, and of course the reason that only those 2 tracks it's going to be a yellow line is because they're the only 2 tracks in the calendar that the street racing keeps the markings for the pedestrians as well. I don't know what's happening with Miami just yet, as one of the Alpines of Alonso straight off at turn 3 as well. It seems like they're going to have a problem down there. They've reprofiled turn 3. They've opened it up a lot more, and drivers struggling to get on the brakes there.
I mean, we've seen that. Yeah, this was the moment with Sainz and Joe. We've seen that in the past as well. Because,
yeah, what is he doing? He fully blocked me as well.
yeah, we've seen it in the past as well. Because it's just a, hard braking. It's a slow corner after a straight. So yeah,
What is
to
he
lock
doing?
up there.
What
And
is he
especially with these new cars, we've seen them locking up often. So yeah, they're gonna go on into the gravel there if you lock up, and we've already seen it twice.
Yeah, Josh Plays just sent me some new information about how they have slightly changed where the areas are now for 2022 on the pit lane map. Haven't got that operational just yet in the commentary box. We're going to have those printed out for me in the FP3 session tomorrow. As always, the printer's decided it's run out of ink, so I'm having to use my notes on my laptop as well. So that's why I haven't got my usual big folder. But we have got a new wall and a new monitor as well, so it's nicely, finally feeling like an official box up here as well. The new monitor, by the way, so that we can completely broadcast easily on USRN, where you can join us for qualifying and the race coming up as well. Can't wait to see that as well.
Have you also noticed, by the way, that this season in every track we've had so far, only 3, but they're always in early parts of practice. There's been one specific corner where they keep on locking up. All of them do. In Bahrain it was turn 10. In Saudi Arabia it was the final corner. So it's somehow they do that often in the start of the practice.
It's always down the same part of the track as well. Now Hamilton, is he done the same thing? Yeah, look, turn 3, locked up the inside front right, and just snatches it. And it seems to be, at the moment, the hard compound tyre, so the Pirelli C2, seems to be the most affected, as things currently stand as well. Go through the order then. Verstappen is the fastest on a 1:21.140. Norris is second, Leclerc third, Ricciardo fourth, Tsunoda 5th, Ocon 6th, Vettel 7th, Hamilton 8th, Stroll 9th, Gasly rounds out the top 10, Sainz is 11th, Alonso 12th, Bottas 13th, Albon 14th, Russell 15th, 16th for Zhou, 17th for Latifi, Perez 18th, Schumacher 19th, and Magnussen in 20th place. At the moment, he's done a 1:42.684 at the moment, so he's 21 seconds off the pace at the moment. But Schumacher is on a 1:55.148 as his fastest lap. So I don't know how the timing screens have put those the wrong way around. That's why, because Schumacher's on an outlap and Magnussen's time is not official on the board. He's only done 2 sectors and then came into the pit lane. So that's a important factor to note as well. Tyres, though, at the moment, Verstappen's out there on the C5 softs, same as his teammate Sergio Perez, but I think at the moment Perez is coming to the line now to complete a lap time with his teammate just behind him. Has Perez taken off the airbags already? That was a 20-minute data gathering.
Yeah, well, he's still far behind his teammates, but he must be on a different program than his teammate. But Verstappen gone even faster. 1:29.
Wow, that's insane. How could that? So that's already, I think, 3 seconds, maybe even 4 seconds faster than what we raced here back in 2019. I'm sure Josh Plays will get all the information for us. Sebastian Vettel back in the Aston Martin then for the first time since Bahrain pre-season testing after he contracted COVID for the first 2 races of the year as well. And finally he gets to run the tribute to Ukraine as well. The We Racers 1 helmet as well, the beautiful livery as well for that helmet. And I noticed he might have, has he kept the flags at the bottom? I can't quite see. We got some debris on the track, and that's put out the yellow flags. Looks like
an M plate.
Yeah, where's that come off then? We can't see at the moment because the track looks identical. It's start-finish straight.
There is something in the middle of the track, last corner.
Oh, that's new. Did you hear the team radio is being blasted around the circuit as well? You might not, but I heard that as it's right on the racing line as cars having to move
it. It's going to be a red flag because it's going to be tricky to get out of the way.
Oh, it's a Red Bull and it's Perez. It's a rear. Oh, it's part of the rear diffuser of Sergio Perez, and this is Ocon noticing it in the middle of the track. He has to take avoiding action. Wow, that could have been a big one if he hit that. Red flag is out now then. They have stopped the session because they've got to recover that part of the track. They've got to recover that. Yeah, there we go. Red flag out. They've got to recover it because it's just too dangerous to keep it out there if someone runs over it. So instead of a virtual safety car, they have decided to throw the full red flag.
Yeah, obviously it's on a tight track and it's on the main straight, so obviously it's gonna be a red flag right in the apex.
Yeah.
As we saw, that Schumacher just was out on track, so he's still got to wait for that now with a red flag.
And that's even worse now that the Shiraz cars haven't actually set any time. So we got to 22 minutes before we had to throw the red flag here for practice. Sergio Perez with a rear diffuser breaking off as well on the right-hand side has stopped the session. The clock will continue to count down as well because we need to stay on timetable on the Friday. Look, the Marshal's already recovered it. That, to me, could have been a virtual safety car. I think Niles Rittick, the race director, being a bit too conservative there. But there was only a couple of cars out on track, so I don't think it's affected it that much.
Yeah, that's kind of true, but it's obviously right on the apex. But I'm sure they could have just deployed a search safety car. I mean, they've already cleared it right now, so I think they can already, get back to green flag now.
Hopefully so. We'll keep an eye out. It's still red on my monitors. We'll take this opportunity to throw down to the pit lane. So Josh won't hear this for 5 seconds yet. So I'll press that button because... Oh, there we go. Hello, Josh. If you can hear us, he's frankly trying to find out the pole time.
I was about to send you the 2019 FP1 time and the 2019 pole time.
Oh! Wi-Fi's really bad at the moment, by the way, so sorry about that. Despite getting changed over to 500 megabytes. Oh, there we go, Josh, we're with you now. So, go on, you may as well just tell us it while we're under the red flag. I think the red flag's been rescinded.
Yep. So, the 2019 FP... Yep, it has track is clear.
You have to tell us when the green flag's out. I can't see it.
Yeah, the green flag is out now.
Ah, great. So red flag's back.
Yep, green light pit exit open.
Fantastic. So away we go then once again for free practice. So yeah, go on. Finally, tell us the free practice times and the times we had to get completely.
Turn 13. Turn 13. Yep. Yep. So 2019 FP1 was Hamilton 1 minute 23.599, and the 2019 pole time was Hamilton with a 1 minute 22.043, and turn 13 incident involving cars 24, and 55 science noted for impeding.
So we're around about 2 seconds of that faster, but take away that we lost 5 seconds with these cars changing and the track layout improving. I would say that the track is 5 seconds a lap faster than what we had in 2019. But
the times are going to improve by a lot still.
Yeah, that's still a fast lap as well. So Verstappen has the unofficial track record then, as things currently stand. Red flag was back out, but we are now back to green. And Joe Guanyu, as you said, for impeding has had it. The session restarted bang on with 37 minutes to go, so it's quite a quick one. No one, Sainz, Russell, the two cars heading out there at the moment, so they're staying in their part of the track as well. And of course, 25 years ago today, if my memory... No, maybe a couple of months back as well, in early March. I don't know why Dieter Enken's tweeting this, but of course it was 25 years ago since Lola failed to make an appearance in their Formula 1 World Championship after the MasterCard deal fell through. If you haven't or don't know about it, I suggest you go and look FP1 on YouTube. He has done a fantastic roundup of what happened with Lola as well. And of course, the Murray and Martin show in 1997 did exactly that. So, Josh, anything else from the pit lane at the moment? I know you've been sending me some stuff as well. And last thing you sent was the images.
Not anything. I'm going to have, not anything from me, but I'm going to have another... more detailed look at the 2019 pit lane exit and 2022 pit lane exit.
Okay, thanks,
Well-
Josh. Oh, go on, Synth.
Yeah, about the so they've said the width of the pit lane has changed from 12 to 14 meters, and the speed limit has increased from 60 to 80 kilometers an hour. They just showed that.
So it's okay. So I don't know if you hear that, Josh, but it's now 14 meters longer on the run down towards turn 1, and the pit lane.
That's the
got-
width.
The width's now 14 meters longer, and the speed's been increased from 60 kilometers up to 80 kilometers. But still doesn't know about the pit exit then if that's been increased. So
Well,
yeah, that's
it really
interesting.
looks like it.
It does look like it, yeah. As we see, this is Carlos Sainz down towards turn 1. Just
Little
still
wobble.
struggling though. Turn 1 and turn 2. Okay, thanks, Josh. I'm back with you later. If you find anything, let me know. Thank you. See you later. So that's Josh Pay's down in the pit lane. Go on.
Yeah, now I can't see the camera more. So it's when you leave the call with Josh.
Oh yeah, don't worry. It's that one. We're always on. Oh, Science Radio.
Like, where am I missing on lap time? Turn 1 and turn 11, late to focus.
Yes, Science's Radio. Where am I losing focus the most as well? As Perez is on a lap time now as well, and he might just get up there with the time set by Verstappen. So whatever fell off Perez must have been quite an easy fix, although he is 4/10 down and he is on the C5 tyre compound, so it's still not as fast as I would expect it to be coming through.
He's doing long runs because he already had a slow time compared to his teammate on the softs.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, long runs for sure. As they come through into turn 9. This is my favourite part of the track, but anyone who's played the F1 game knows how much of a pain it is. Because if you take too much speed at turn 10, you'll end up on the grass and the car just rotates round on you as well. When I was doing the lap attack, several laps were cancelled because of that. And of course, because I can't reset, I have to
Tyres on
drive
the
back
high
round.
side, so let's back off, and then scrub them last corner, roll through the last corner, but back off now.
Very confusing message there from Lance Stroll.
Yeah, it's really easy to crash there indeed on the game. And also on that little chicane they've removed now. I always hated that chicane. So
Oh, the driver tracker's working. Hey, told you that wouldn't take long. Driver tracker is now working, as you can see up here on the YouTube chat. So that is 28 minutes. That's a new record. Well done, everyone. As we see now, Sergio Perez doing exactly that, I reckon. No, he didn't. He just
Bit
took too much
wide.
curb. Yeah, took too much
and here
curb.
it looks more spectacular because of all the dust coming out on the back of his car. But yeah, so yeah, I didn't like the chicane either, so which has been removed now. So that's good. But if you just look at the pit lane, by the way, you saw that when they exited it, they were just right at the right side of the corner, and they had to take such a tight line to the corner. So that it looks really different, and it could affect the race as well.
Gunter Steiner, it was his birthday yesterday. He's talking now with Sky Sports.
Saying how good everything is now commercially.
Well, it's a question for you. You're an American team, 3 American races. That's got to be good, Gunther, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I think it's good for Formula One in general, and it should be good for us. I mean, there is a lot of increased interest in the States for Formula One, so it's a big country, with big potential. So hopefully it all goes well.
And Gunther, I noticed yesterday when you were leaving the paddock, you had a 2-time world champion walking out in front of you, and Fernando Alonso, but the crowd were cheering your name and getting you to go over and sign autographs and photos.
Yeah, we were a little bit fighting with Fernando, who goes first, who distracts the crowd, so it was pretty good, so, I mean, they are big fans here.
Whoa!
And Gunther, obviously...
I'm just going to cut that across at the moment because George Russell had a massive run-up with one of the Red Bulls into turn 9 and 10, exactly the part we were just talking about there, Sid, and that was a big moment as well. He nearly went airborne if he hit the back.
I think it was Paris who was on the apex.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on the fastest corner of the track, so it's a bit of a dangerous move. It's probably going to be looked at as well, but still, it's only practice, of course.
All right, we'll return to Gunther.
Yeah, so coming back like this, and it looks like the plan we had worked out. We had to wait for a long time, but 12 months with a performance like we had last year, they are long 12 months, so it's, in the moment, everybody's happy. We just need to keep it up now.
And Gunther, can I ask how you're working with Mick and helping Mick along? Because, as a driver, it must be a bit tricky for him to see a teammate arrive who's not been in F1 for 15 months, and Kevin's done a fantastic job, I think, in the first 2 races, and really extracted good performance. And Mick is suddenly, a little bit behind him. Is that? Have you had to put an arm around his shoulder? He's obviously less experienced and a young guy early in his career. Have you had to put an arm around the shoulder and just help him along a bit?
No, I think when I told Mick that Kevin was coming, was very happy because he respects him. And I think for Mick, he sees the good in it, even if he's behind now. At least he's got a reference now on which he can obviously lean on and to see how to do it different to get there where Kevin is. So in the moment, he's still okay. He knows that he's a little bit behind, but he takes it really, really good. He waits for his moment. He's calm about it, and let's see in the next races. We need a little bit of time that he can get used to a very good teammate, because I think, as you said, Kevin is doing a fantastic job having been out for 40 months of an F1 car. Coming back at this level is very good, and I think there's more to come. So we just have to be a little bit patient, but I think he will get there pretty soon.
Just very briefly, Gunther, how is Kevin this morning? Is he all better?
Yeah, I think he's not perfect, but I think he will be okay.
That's nice to hear that he's going to be okay. Good to Steiner. Happy birthday to you, sir, as off yesterday. Josh Plays has sent me some messages saying that FIA Steward says turn 13 is involving car 24 Joe, and 55 sites will be investigated after the session for impeding as things currently stand. Let's get to the YouTube chat quickly as well and reply to some of the things that have been happening. SHT says Mercedes say they will bring in new rear wing setup for this weekend. It turns out they are yet to bring in the rear wing, as the latest news being reported yesterday. I can tell you that they haven't changed the rear wing. It's the same one they had in Saudi Arabia as well. Josh Play says McLaren are looking stronger. They are, with Norris in P6 and Ricciardo down in P8 as things currently stand. So a big improvement there. M says as well, why the red flag? That was because
we're not going to use this tyre again, so just to be sure, I'm happy to box if you want.
That's true, you're right. Yeah, I'm jumping too far ahead.
Yeah, let's do the double call, then let's have a look. If the lap's crap, you can abort it and come in, depending on where we are.
Vettel and his engineer just having some conversations about not going to use the tyres. So Emma saying, why the red flag? It was because of Sergio Perez as well. He had some rear bodywork falling off on his rear right diffuser. He's back out on the track now. Verstappen was fast in Sector 1, but slow Sector 2. SST says McLaren really need to carry this momentum till tomorrow's qualifying as well as Sunday's race as well. Is the map frozen? It was, but it's now working again, thankfully. I hope it is as well going forward. Hamilton's out the soft. Schumacher's out on the medium, says SHT as well. And he also says the last one SHT said was more drivers on the track now with softs. Now we have Ocon and Tsunoda. Thanks for that, SHT as well, coming through. And I tell you what, I'm having more messages coming through right now. And it's 4:30 a.m. here in the UK. All my friends should be asleep, and yet I've got loads of text messages coming through saying, why are you on YouTube at this ungodly hour? They can tell we haven't done one of these night races for Formula 1 since 2019. In fact, this is our first night race. We broadcast live on YouTube as well in Central Europe. So welcome to the party. It always feels as well, I don't know about you, Cynthia, it always feels like we've seen the race before everybody else. It's like we're one of the first people to watch it.
Yeah, well, many people will watch the race after... just a little later when they wake up.
Yeah.
And obviously the other early race is Japan, but we haven't seen that since 2019 either. So that's one is also on, for you, 6 a.m.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually, Japan. And I think there's only 2 night races this year as well for Europeans. There's a lock-up for one of the Haas cars. That was Kevin Magnussen. Did he make the corner? No, he's in the gravel. Yeah, Magnussen locking up down there and going through the gravel trap. As well, that's where his race ended in 2019, actually, after a botched tyre stop put him out of the race. So, flashbacks.
He made the barriers, it looked like.
Yeah. Just avoided that one. Locked up too much on the inside. And is he going to drag any gravel back on? No, actually. So, we don't have to red flag for gravel. Let's take another look at it then, Synth.
Yeah, so is it going to be another normal lock-up like we've seen multiple times? Just went turning in. So then the gravel... pushing him to the left, but it's not that big of a moment too close to the wall as I thought it would be. But he did go in. Yeah.
All okay, Kev?
Yeah, I went through the gravel. Seems okay. He replied to that. Back to you, Synth.
Yeah, he went very far into the gravel compared to the other one so far. But he's already like the fourth one to lock out there, and we're gonna surely see that more because it's now after this DRS straight, a very a slow corner. About this DRS, obviously that's one of the talking points of the first two races. The DRS games played with Leclerc and Verstappen. So now I'm sure that's not gonna happen because there are only two DRS detection points from the four DRS zones. And those are after turn 12 and after turn 6, and you can't really go side by side through there, so we won't see anything of that happening this time.
Josh Plays has sent us an image. I've just put it over your camera there, so if you take a look at the YouTube, we can actually see he's done a side-by-side comparison. This is why we have someone down at the pit lane for us. Thank you, Josh, for this. So he's compared the 2019 pit exit and the 2022 pit exit, and it looks like they are actually both identical. So they're exactly the same gap between the two of them at the pit exit. So it's only our imagination. It used to be a white line. Now it's a yellow line. So maybe it's our eyes deceiving us. It looks a bit different.
Yeah, well, it's been a while, so I don't really remember. But still, it's really close to the corner. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna give them a very slow exit out of turn 1. So if they do
any recommendation on tools for this?
Yeah, he just comes out behind him. He's gonna get a great exit out of turn 1, and then they can go side by side through turn 2. I think we've seen that before as well.
Yeah, didn't we have that with first Vettel and Hamilton during one of the races as well? That springs to mind. It could be either 2017 or 2018, one of the two, where Vettel got out at just ahead due to the safety car. Verstappen's gone fastest, 120.626 at the moment. Leclerc was briefly fastest, but that's switched over now, so it looks like we're going to have a battle between the two. Join the conversation. Twitter now with Salesforce back as their main sponsor. You can join the conversation. Hashtag OzGP is the official hashtag. If you need reminding of it, it's part of our graphics package up here for what race we're at. It's not the Australian Grand Prix hashtag, it's hashtag OzGP. They like to shorten things down here as well. But Leclerc, that's a big time there. 123.77. He's 2.5 tenths faster. We've got a yellow.
Sainz looks to go even faster now.
Don't know where the yellow flag is at the moment, but it has come up on my screen. Sector 3 as well.
That's a tight part.
Well, I think it's Alonso, actually. Or it could be Ricardo. They're all in the third sector.
Green.
Oh, well, they've cut to Alonso, so...
Yeah.
Wonder what he's done. Track will show us. It was DRS disabled, zone 2. Oh, no, yellows are back out. So, okay, back to green now. So they keep flicking on and off. That's the Marshals put the yellow out as well. Wonder what that was then with Alonso. Turn 5 is involving cars 18 Stroll and 20 Magnussen will be investigated after the session for impeding. So they are going to investigate.
And again, so many impedings. Okay, so let's see what happened to Alonso. Is this to the new tighter corners? You're going to go into the gravel?
Oh, he spun it. 360 down at turn 13. And there's loads of gravel. Oh, is that gravel or is that bark? I don't know what it actually looks like there.
So
looks like
P1.
full tires.
Yeah.
Copy, we'll look into that.
Looks interesting there, certainly, with 21 minutes of this session to go here as things stand. So it was Alonso who had a spin, as it's Sainz now top, 123.25. Leclerc is second. He is 0.05 of a second away. As things stand, 0.052 separate them. So Ferrari 1-2, Sainz ahead of Leclerc. Do you reckon Sainz could get a win this year? It's got to happen.
Yeah, surely. Sometimes he's faster than Leclerc, sometimes he's not. Those two are actually really close to each other. And now with last time in Saudi Arabia with Paris getting pole, I'm even more excited because it can be all four of them, 2 Red Bulls and Ferraris, who can take victories this year. So it's going to be a very close battle between all of them.
Indeed, I'm really hoping as well we're going to have a nice, smooth, calm race. What's happening here? Because Josh has tweeted me saying, okay, so the red flag that came out after Sergio Perez loses a P3's car at the exit of the last corner, Josh has just let me know from the pit lane it wasn't actually Sergio Perez's car, it was Max Verstappen's car that the piece of debris fell off. So thanks for that correction, Josh. So the TV graphics got it wrong. It wasn't Sergio Perez, it was actually Max Verstappen, the winner from Saudi Arabia and the world champion of 2021, who had a part of his rear diffuser come off. So it was not Perez, it was Verstappen that caused that red flag. Interesting.
I didn't notice either. But yeah, the time graphic said Perez. That explains why Verstappen is still in the box, I guess.
Yeah, so he has lost time, but he did go faster, so don't think it's causing him that much of an issue at the moment. But less than 20 minutes to go. Don't know about you, but I'm starting to get hungry as well. I woke up and came straight to the commentary box. I haven't actually had any food yet.
Well, I've only been awake for...
Time been gone on the second lap, to be honest. It's okay.
Copy.
Radio from
Most people
Leclerc.
are finding around 3/10 on the second push lap.
So that was Charles Leclerc. Yeah, say again, Synth, because the radio cut you off.
Well, I've been awake for an hour. Test starts from Leclerc.
Oh, I'm struggling to hear you there, mate. Don't know what's happening there. As Leclerc doing a practice start, and yeah, you're right. And he's gone straight on through the gravel. So at turn 1, so exactly what you were on about, as that pit exit was too much of a hard, abrasive turn to turn 1. It's happened, and Leclerc goes rally crossing down into turn 1. Wow, look at that. That reminds me of Coulthard doing that back in 2008. He did crash though into the wall, but still.
Looks really cool, that little drift from Leclerc.
But
it's definitely not ideal.
Yeah, I can. Just about. You've gone very quiet.
Oh. Don't know what it is.
No worries if it's an issue. Sainz Leclerc at the moment looking quite quick, as Ted's got news.
Fiddle around quite royally with what they've already got. And that's what's happening here, because George Russell, if you have a look at his rear wing, it's effectively the Jeddah rear wing with the bits that they really just cut away from the top flap element along the top line of that Petronas. Those yellow dots, by the way, if you're looking at that rear wing, is just to measure how much rear wing flexibility we have, circa Title Championship fight controversy number 223 in 2021. You remember all that, don't you? The flexi limbo rear wings. If you're wondering why the yellow dots are there. So keep in mind what George Russell's rear wing looks like, and then JD will move very quickly the other way, JD, to Lewis Hamilton's car. We don't need to see what's going on at Red Bull. There'll certainly be different rear wings. Have a look at Lewis Hamilton's rear wing, which is effectively the Bahrain. There's a mechanic just leaning into Lewis Hamilton's cockpit to see. Can you see the difference?
Yes.
There you go. So that's effectively the Bahrain rear wing that Lewis has got before they started in Jeddah, started cutting away bits in order to trim out the car to try and get some straight line speed. So it's all part of just using what they've got. And, you know, they might not have a new floor ready yet. They might be Imola, maybe Spain, maybe even Miami before they start to truly understand this car. But that doesn't mean they can't do the experiments with wing level, with the floors, the stay, which I think maybe we can see now there's a mechanic in the way. The stay is still there. It's still in the same place, trying to beef up that floor, trying to stop the floor from flexing down and making the porpoising worse. The side pods are the same. And, you know,
Ted,
they're just otherwise doing... Yeah, sorry.
Is this cost cap? What we're used to seeing Mercedes bringing updates, you know, fairly regularly, fairly frequently when we're in an F1 season. Is this a result of that?
There's no point just sort of going blindly into the night, you know, designing something, putting it in a 3D printer, and then expecting it, throwing it in the car in some kind of development upgrade cannon, and then hoping that it works. That's not the way Mercedes go about understanding their problems. They've got to understand it. The moment they understand it, they can start to get solutions to it, because it all becomes absolutely clear. It's a cold, hard data race to actually figure out what they're going to be dealing with that's going to get them out, reliably going to get them out of the hole that they're in. And that's why we're not seeing all these bits being, you know, just, I mean, what are they going to do? Have a you know, idea? I know. Let's just try a different floor. Well, they could try that. They've tried cutting holes in the floor. Heaven knows in testing. Do you remember, Rach?
Yes, I do.
When they were sticking, you know, cutting holes in it in a sort of. But that's slightly some desperate Dan tactics, and that's not the way they work it. They will apply science to get this right and to understand it. And well, the only question remaining is the one I put to Lewis at the beginning of the show, which is, by the time they do understand it, will it be too late for him to challenge for the World Championship? With 23 races in the season, Karun, Johnny, Rachel, you'd have to say probably not.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ted. Synthol with me as well. I'll ask that question to him, actually. Is it too late for... Oh, 2 seconds, got a yellow flag somewhere, and it's Sebastian Vettel.
I've got an issue with the engine.
Copy with
It's
his
died.
Go to cool for now. You're clear behind.
No more power. Forget it. It's gone.
Oh dear.
Red flag, and it's on fire as well. Sebastian Vettel getting out of the car, smoking from the back. So red flag out again. And this will probably take a little bit of time. If there's oil, it looks like there's some sort of liquid has been deposited on the circuit. You can see the black lines just running up to the circuit. So red flag is out then for a second time in this first practice session. As well,
this is up to the fastest corner of the circuit, so you really want to make sure this is safe.
Yeah, so this is really going to have a bit of a problem now. As Vettel saying, "Do we need to fight? Can I have a fire extinguisher, please?" Here we go. Look, we saw this in pre-season testing. Fire Marshal Seb is back, and he's just double-checking everything and putting the coolant on the car, making sure nothing gets damaged. But mechanics really hate it when you do that. If it's just a small little oil fire, it'll burn off. They've got to clean up all this from the internal of the car as well. And look, he's putting it all in the side pod now as well. I know he's trying to cool it, but Seb a bit over extinguishing there, it seems like as well. My goodness me. He's really putting it down. Let's take a look at it then, Synth. Oh, let's hear actually. Oh, it died midway through turn 9.
Just listening there.
That just cut out, didn't it? That absolutely just went.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the issue was there for Vettel, but he's not going to run anymore this practice. That's for sure.
I think he could feel the heat, you know. I'm not even joking, because he was sort of sitting up in the car, wasn't he? Did you see him through turn 10? He was sort of putting his body weight above, so he's trying to lift his bum off the seat. Because, of course, the driver's going to feel that, and he's going to feel the heat. And this is actually links perfectly into why jewellery, once again, has been banned in Formula 1. It was banned originally in 2005 to stop two drivers of the Red Bull factories as well, Liuzzi and Christian Klien. Klien had an earring, and Liuzzi wore a metal dog tag around his neck as well, and the FIA were not happy with that, so they decided to ban all use of jewellery, and yet the drivers have been blatantly ignoring it for the past couple of years as well. It got to the point where in Jeddah, I got the full list, Charles Leclerc was wearing a full-on watch in the car as well, and Max Verstappen was wearing a bracelet. Lewis Hamilton obviously wears his earrings and his nose piercings as well. But Leclerc, Schumacher crashed, he wasn't in the race, but Leclerc, Schumacher, Gasly, Ocon, and another driver, I can't remember off the top of my head, were all wearing rings as well in the car, the special rings that track your sleep and your heart rate. But that, it was for the FIA, was way too much, because in the event of a fire as well, the fire suit will protect you from being badly burned, but it is not going to protect you from your metal body attachments as well that will get hotter and hotter. The fire suits protect you from getting burned, but they don't stop your body from getting hot. And so the metal will act like a conductor, start to heat up and cause you a lot more problems and probably more burns as well. So the FIA, after seeing these drivers ridiculously wearing all that cosmetic jewellery and body attachments in Jeddah, have finally said, that's it, we're making sure this rule's going to be enforced. So it's actually now illegal to drive the car with anything attached to you other than what the FIA say. So the drivers are actually being checked by the FIA representative in the garage. The drivers are being checked before they get in the car. They're not taking anything they're not supposed to, which I suppose is actually the correct decision. But it hasn't stopped Team LH thinking that it's an attack solely on Lewis Hamilton. Well, it's not. It's really not.
Yeah, so I'm surprised. It's comfortable with those things.
Oh, say again. I couldn't hear you there. You went a bit quiet.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't look. It doesn't sound comfortable to me with this jewel. As two Red Bulls are coming out on track now. The green flag is back out. Just a few seconds.
Red flag gone then. The session will resume in around about 10 seconds time. Oh, now 3, 2, 1. Green flag back out then. Out on the circuit. Josh just told me when the session will resume. So cars are now leaving the pit lane as well.
Paris is the first one to get out. Verstappen and Gasly are doing the practice start at the moment. And there's a lot of cars coming out of the pits now. Well, they're all waiting in line for the practice start. Oh, little wobble for Verstappen as well in turn 1 after the pit entry.
I'll take your word for it, because at the moment we can't see TV pictures because Sky have gone for an ad break. Yes, we're seeing Perez out on the circuit now as well, and then Verstappen. They're all starting to appear back on the driver tracker. Hopefully you can read those, because the Red Bulls look a bit darker this weekend, actually, for their names. Russell coming out there as well, which is great news, and Tsunoda, Perez, Gasly as well. Will take it. But a 1:19.806 then is the fastest time in this session, set by Carlos Sainz. And he is the driver to beat at the moment by 0.5 of a second to Charles Leclerc. Verstappen back out the track, which is great to see, especially after the problems he had with the rear of the car getting thrown up in the as well. So that's nice to see. I think we're going to be back with TV pictures shortly. But is anything interesting happening on yours? Because you've got F1 TV over there.
Waiting to get into the lap soon. Paris is nearly in the end of the lap, so he's going to start the lap soon.
Russell radio?
Which tire he is.
Whoa, that Red Bull was in a dangerous spot there.
So they finally found the radio from what we saw earlier on in the broadcast, which was Russell nearly getting wiped out by one of the Red Bulls.
So they're now starting on the soft tire.
Yep, soft tyres going on there at the moment. You're breaking up a bit, Cynthia, as well. You start really loud, and then you just it goes off and goes really quiet at the end. So we'll keep an eye on what the reason that is. Speed trap for Gasly is 277 kilometers an hour, 172 miles an hour as well as they come back through.
Is it better now?
Yes, that's better. I can hear you now. So can everybody else, which is great to hear. Who's out there on the hards? Hamilton's back out there on hard tyres as well, so they're all just keeping out on what they need to do. Hard to believe that we're 7 minutes away from the end of the first practice session. Your mind does get tricked as well as to how early it is. Usually, I'm never this energetic in a practice session that's on at 3 o'clock in the morning. But it's getting it's live streaming, I suppose. It gets to you like that, and hopefully as well with the new soundproofing wall we've got in the commentary box as well. My neighbours are not going to be too angry with me come 7 a.m. on Sunday morning for lights out. Gasly coming through as well in that tricky part of turn 9 and 10. He's down in the two sectors, but I think he's on very old tyres at the moment.
Well, that makes me remind me of the typhoon in Japan, which made qualifying to start during midnight for us, which was crazy, and I still watch that.
Yeah, that race actually was the last time we had a night race in Europe. The Japanese Grand Prix in 2019. Australia will become the first. And of course, I was thinking to myself, there's only 2 on the calendar this year, but you've got to take in the fact that China isn't on the calendar this year and will return next year, I'm being told. China and Shanghai will be back, which is good. I like that circuit, so it'll be nice to see it again. And with the new cars, hopefully it's a lot more exciting than when we have the F1000 race as well.
So everyone except for Leclerc.
You've completely gone. You started that. For me, yeah. It sounds like you start well, then something gets muffled.
Well, so everyone on...
Just very rarely at the moment. Barely I can hear you. It's alright, we've only got another 6 minutes, so it's working well at the moment as well.
Does it work now?
Yes, there we go. Quickly say it before it goes again.
Very busy on track. Everyone except for Leclerc.
It's gone again. I think it must be some sort of lead issue, or maybe Wi-Fi. Sainz at the moment looking quite quick then, as Leclerc hasn't returned to the track. He stayed in the pit lane as well. The track, though, getting extremely busy as the driver tracker shows it. Let's take a look then at the YouTube chat to go forward. M says, is the Haas okay of Magnussen? Yep, perfectly fine. SSD says, Bottas now 4th fastest. Alonso still with new hards. Ocon goes 5th. And here comes Firefighter Seb, says Josh Plays as well. I knew he was going to do it, not the Marshal. Yeah, well, of course, the Marshals don't really tend to put the car out because they don't know what to look for. The drivers do, and they tend to do it as well. Through turn 9, kink at 10. I always think turn 10 is the most dangerous corner on this track as well, because if you, as we keep saying, if you get it wrong, it's going to be a nightmare to recover that. Remember Glock back in 2008 jumping over and smashing into the wall and causing the safety car. that one as well. Actually, interesting fact about the 2008 Grand Prix, it was the first Grand Prix in the UK to be shown without any adverts since 1996's Japanese Grand Prix. Because ITV that year, they were told on the weekend of the Australian Grand Prix in 2008 that it would be their last year and BBC would take over. So ITV tried to negotiate their contract by saying, well, we can show the race without adverts as well, and we'll prove it to you in Australia. They did it. They lost a lot of money, and adverts returned for Malaysia 7 days later with that famous battle between Hamilton and the two Ferraris of that year, which was Raikkonen and Massa as well, which resulted in, I think, Hamilton having a spin up at the top of the hill at turn 4. Can't remember that. I think that was it. It could have been 2007, that one. Perez fastest in the second sector. Oh, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, so Sainz had a big wobble out of turn 1. Turn 2. It's a very big moment. He nearly lost it there. We're going to surely see a replay of that soon.
I hope we do see a replay of it as well, as here comes Perez crossing the line. Go third fastest, 1:23.99 for Sergio Perez then. Thought he was going to go a little bit quicker, but he is on old C5 compound tyre as well. So he was fastest second sector, slow third sector as things stand as well. So he's got more time to find. This is a replay of Sainz off at turn 1.
Yeah, look, so he's going to go towards the curb.
Whoa! Did he touch the wall? Did he touch the wall?
Did he?
I can't see. He just got away with it. My goodness. He's flirting with the wall so much there. And Russell down at turn 3. Has he gone through the gravel? A little kick of oversteer. Radio.
I know there. Red Bulls again in the way everywhere.
Oh, yeah, there's a Red Bull on the inside at turn 5 there as well. Who would that have been? I'm thinking, well, it must have been Perez, because he's still going slow out there down at turn 9. And Verstappen is ahead of Russell. So Perez getting in the way once again. Schumacher's done a 1:24.349 and has gone 20th fastest. Magnussen 18th as well. So Haas, again, having a struggling opening to the weekend like we saw they did back in Saudi Arabia. They do tend to improve their time, though, later on in the session, which is nice to see. 2 minutes to go, 2 minutes 19 to go in the session. And look at this. I'm just so happy we're back in Australia. It does make me so happy. Although, still, the garages are insanely tight. They haven't bothered to rebuild the pit buildings.
Yeah, the pit entry, that looks so scary. I mean, surely they're not going to have any issues there, but still, it looks so... The wall comes up to you so fast.
We're going to see it
now.
now.
We're going to see it here.
With Zhou Guanyu. Whoa! I'm surprised we're not... Well, they have to open it up, don't they? Because there's a separate pit lane for the V8 supercars, and then there's the F1 pit lane. But it looked to me that usually the supercars pit lane is blocked off for the F1, but it looks like the entrance is still there. I wonder if during the race someone's going to attack the pit lane and just clip their wheel off. And if they do, it'll have to be a red flag because they need to do the pit lane.
Kubica hitting the wall there in the pit entry in 2019.
Oh, yes, he did, didn't he? First race back, yes, I remember that now. I can't remember if that was... I don't think it was due to his wrist, was it? It just he had caught some dust, didn't he? I can't remember. I'm sure that's one for Josh Plays, actually, too.
I mean, it looks easy to do.
Yeah, really is. And, well, I think... how many times have you crashed at the pit lane entrance at Spa in the F1 game? I've done it several times.
Exit as well.
Yes, exit as well. It's a stupid pit lane Spa. Really don't like it as well. They've got so much width.
The traffic is mental. Yeah. I don't know why they are so slow in 10-11. On 10-10, I don't get it.
Yeah, copy that. So behind Verstappen, 4.5 seconds behind on time lap.
Yeah, Alonso complaining then about the traffic. Just quick, yeah.
So many cars impeding.
They really are. And what is this going to be like in Q1? Tomorrow morning, that's going to be absolutely insane.
I might see some penalties for the race when some cars are, just getting away, and also maybe in the race for the lap car.
Yeah, that car's going to get out of the way, and it's a fast circuit as well. Firefighter Seb has become such a meme, lol, says Josh. Plays Leclerc, massive twitch through turn 1.
Yes, again a Ferrari in turn 1s, and so. Looks so tricky. It actually looks like a really easy corner, but they've all been struggling through there. Here, turn 3 went well for Leclerc. Didn't lock up there, like we've seen multiple times so far already.
Checker flag is out. He's and Leclerc's 1.5 seconds down in that first sector. Alonso and Russell have taken the checkered flag, and Alonso's done a 1:21.229. That's putting him into 9th position. Ricciardo goes P8. Russell P12 as things stand as well at the moment. So the practice starts, by the way. I don't think they're going to be allowed to take part on the grid this weekend due to the fact it's a street circuit, and they've got to get their timetable running with the supercars that are out next, I think, for their next qualifying session. So we'll double check to see whether or not they're going to have practice starts on the grid. But if not, we'll just fade back out and get ready for the next part of the session. Drivers are now taking the checker flag, and Leclerc gets on the gravel big time, and he just about saves it. They're going to have to do some mega cleanup in this track after this one.
That's the checkered flag. Happy to keep pushing for now. Keep pushing.
What happened there? There's too much speed. I thought he was going to go in the wall.
Yeah, too much speed on the wide. There's a big moment from Leclerc. Again, gravel.
And he's been followed by Sainz. He's been followed by Sainz, who tops the session. Leclerc second and Perez third, Verstappen fourth. So it's the second drivers ahead of the first drivers, it seems, in the two teams at the moment. Norris P5, that's a nice one for McLaren. Hamilton is 7th and Russell down in 12th position. Here's Leclerc again.
Yeah, there's a little twitch in turn 1. Ricciardo in 8th, that's great to see.
Yeah, brilliant on his home circuit.
Never been lucky yet, this is just a mistake.
Yeah, Leclerc having problems all over turn 1 and then in turn 13.
Ricciardo crashed in qualifying at
18. Oh, yeah, it was 17 probably. It wasn't 18. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that qualifying actually. Megan was in the box for that one for the season opener. Although now it's not the season opener, she's decided to take Australia out because she got really angry that she had to do it in 2017. And 2018 and 2019, so she was very happy that she doesn't have to do the Australian Grand Prix this weekend. So it's the first she's going to miss that one as well. But she, as I said, she's with us for MotoGP and she's with us for Long Beach IndyCar, McLaren, Ferrari.
What time is it?
Time for IndyCar.
Yeah.
IndyCar is 9:30 your time, I believe. 8:30 British Summer Time.
On Sunday.
On Sunday, yeah.
Then I won't be able to watch the full race, unfortunately.
Well, we've got MotoGP at 8 your time for 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'll see what I can do for that. The two Haas drivers are...
The car behind is Sainz 11, 10, so he's pushing. So we can push on a bit, do the steering test before 11.
That was Stroll. Yeah, practice starts are not going to take part in the grid then. Probably safest because the pit lane exit is wide enough to do your practice starts instead of having to take it to the grid. So that's a shame. I enjoyed that in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, but obviously it's not big enough to do it here in Australia.
So Haas 18th and 20th. That's surprising.
Yeah, that's a surprise. They had this back in Jeddah though. And Josh says, I'll investigate. I can't find a video of Kubica hitting the wall in the pit lane, but he will find it. I presume he'll find it for the next one as well. So we're going to go through, I think, the results shortly for this practice session. Carlos Sainz is the top driver. Who would have thought that was going to happen as well? Everyone came in thinking it'll either be Verstappen or Leclerc. But it's the two ones at the moment having a separation anxiety, it seems. They can't keep away from each other. As Sebastian Vettel, that is hilarious. He's commandeered a scooter to complete his lap. Oh, Sebastian, no waving. He does this a lot, doesn't he? He's just becoming a meme. He's got a big smile on his face.
Amazing.
And he's wearing a ring. He's wearing a ring. Oh, he's going to... Oh, hello. You're not allowed to do that. He's wearing a ring. And... Well, he's going to get done for that now because you're not allowed to wear the jewellery in the car. Oh, Seb, be careful across the stones here as he comes back in. Sebastian Vettel, no hands, he's on a scooter coming back into the pit lane. To be fair, I'd rather just see Seb do this. This is hilarious. Has he got a motorcycle licence?
Yeah, can we see an on-board lap now?
Yeah, I'd love to see that. He's coming back into the pit lane. I wonder if he does have a motorcycle licence. He's looking quite quick, actually. But in comes Seb. And look, the supercars are coming out now, ready to do their practice session. And the medical car taking him in.
Yeah.
Practice result then. It's Carlos Sainz who is the fastest. Charles Leclerc goes second, and Sergio Perez takes us into third position. Drop down the list. Fourth place for Max Verstappen, 8/10 off the pace. Lando Norris goes into P5. Great result for McLaren. Esteban Ocon is 6th. Lewis Hamilton 7th. Danny Ricciardo 8th. Fernando Alonso 9th. And Valtteri Bottas rounds out the top 10 positions. Further down, Yuki Tsunoda goes into 11th. George Russell is in 12th. Sebastian Vettel 13th. Pierre Gasly 14th. Zhou Guanyu is 15th. Lance Stroll 16th. Then we get 17th for Alexander Albon, 18th for Kevin Magnussen, 19th for Nicholas Latifi, and Mick Schumacher rounds out in 20th position as well. Not a bad session there as well. What do you reckon then to that one, Synthal? Who's going to be your pick going into the weekend then after that first practice?
Well, Ferrari looks strong, of course.
Oh, say again?
Ferrari looks strong, and I'm hoping Red Bull can make a comeback. Obviously, they need to, gain a lot still to get back to catch up to the Ferraris.
Absolutely, it's going to look great. Well, my thanks to you, Synthal, for joining me in the box for Free Practice 1. Josh Plays will be back up in the Discord chat permanently for Free Practice 2, if he's awake. And then Ian Birch joins me in the box as well. We get underway 6:50 a.m. British summer time for the next session. You can easily find it by going into the YouTube chat as well and going to the lives and setting the reminders. Just quickly, we'll answer some questions as well. M says, wow, what happened to the Haas? As well, Haas is okay, but they've just mega lost time in that one. Dronov says, good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, everybody. Vettel is wearing a wig. It does look like it, doesn't it? That's going to be one of the memes. I presume you're going to clip that and put that on your Instagram in a second.
I'll see you. By the way, it was...
Oh, say again?
You basically hit the wall in FP3.
Oh, FP3. Thanks. It was FP3, Josh, if you can find it from that one. Okay, thanks, Synthal. My thanks to everybody as well. You really are die-hard F1 fans. Those of you in Europe and those of you in Australia, you're just as die-hard as well because you've actually got a decent timed race for the first time in over 3 seasons. So well done for getting up and joining us. Join us again for Free Practice 2 coming up later on. From us all here, though, it is a Ferrari 1-2, Red Bull 3-4, status quo at the front, but it's Sainz who tops the field at the end of first practice. We'll see you later for Free Practice 2.